Welcome back to the new PCI Daily Live News Roundup brought to you by Philippine Canadian Inquirer, the only Filipino-Canadian newspaper distributed across Canada. I'm Manny Noelabel. Thank you for joining us. We have the latest news development. In the news, Duterte, Marcos was just ashes. Speaking at the Wallace Business Forum on Monday night in Malacanang, President Rodrigo Duterte insisted that it's only the ashes of the late President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. that was buried at the libingan ng mga bayani. He said, quote, "And Marcos, when the time they got him out there, bring it to the Philippines, he's just ashes. Or at the very least, skeletal remains. And by the time that he was buried there in libingan ng mga bayani, he's just ashes." Marcos died in Honolulu, Hawaii on September 28, 1989 because of his kidney, heart, and lung ailments. 4 years after his death, his remains were brought back to the Philippines. Since then, until his burial at the Heroes Cemetery, he was in a glass coffin with his supposed preserved body inside in Batac, Ilocos Norte. Meanwhile, Duterte reiterated to his audience that his mother was against martial law. Duterte leaves for Singapore and Cambodia today. In his speech during his visit at Camp Aquino in Tarlac last Sunday, he insisted that he prefers to stay only in the Philippines to govern the country, but says he has to know his ASEAN neighbors as part of his foreign policy. The president is scheduled to depart for Cambodia today for a state visit on December 13 and 14 at the invitation of King Norodom Sihamoni, and will fly to Singapore on December 15 for a 2-day state visit upon the invitation of Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong. This would be his 6th foreign travel since he assumed office last July. The president is scheduled to meet other Filipinos on Tuesday night in Phnom Penh. Like the Philippines, Cambodia and Singapore are members of the ASEAN. On Wednesday, the president will be given a red carpet welcome at the Royal Palace shortly before meeting with King Norodom Sihamoni. Guterres, next UN Secretary General. Former Portuguese Prime Minister Antonio Guterres became the 9th United Nations Secretary General after winning against 12 other candidates, 7 of whom are women, amid a push to have the first woman to be elected. Ban Ki-moon will step down at the end of 2016 after serving 2 5-year terms. Guterres says that after seeing what has happened in Syria, Yemen, and elsewhere, he says that arbitration, mediation, and diplomacy should always be the best option in dealing with any crisis. He said on Monday that he aims to have gender parity among senior UN leadership within his 5-year term. Diplomats say that Guterres is expected to name Nigeria's Environment Minister Amina Mohammed as his Deputy Secretary General. He also plans to appoint a woman as his Chief of Staff before the end of the year. Guterres was Portugal's Prime Minister from 1995 to 2002 and UN High Commissioner for Refugees from 2005 to 2015. Once again, thank you for joining us here at PCI Daily Live News Roundup. By the way, Christmas countdown continues with 12 days remaining. PCI Daily Live News Roundup is brought to you by Philippine Canadian Inquirer, the only Filipino-Canadian newspaper distributed across Canada. Remember to be safe. The weather condition is snowy here in Vancouver, so please drive carefully. A friendly reminder to get your copies of Philippine Canadian Inquirer at your favorite Filipino businesses in your town or major cities. Also, you can now watch our daily live news roundup on our Canadian Inquirer website, where you can browse through our news anytime. And that's all for now. From Well-Known Media Center right here in Vancouver, together with our Philippine news crew, Debbie Mangabat, and our news editor, Gino Alcantara, our graphics design artist and video editor, I'm Manny Noelabel. Goodbye for now. I'll see you later.